Hello and welcome to the Wash Podcast, DraftKings, FanDuel, and season-long fantasy picks. We have cash numbers on FanDuel and DraftKings players today, so that's what we're going to focus on here. I am joined by my good friend and host of the show, Leonte Carew at gmail.com, because he is the GOAT from Rutgers. Leonte, how are you today?
I'm doing great. What's going on?
All right, so we're just going to dive right in today, and we are going to look at the over-unders for the top games of the week. And it looks like, I guess, maybe a surprise to some people, but not a surprise to me, that at 48.5 points, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons are coming in. And anytime you're about to do weekly fantasy, what we want to tell you to do is check the over-unders, whether you go to covers.com or any of these websites that do over-unders. You want to see what the over-unders of the game. So the top game for the main slate, which is Sunday 1 p.m. games and 4 p.m. games, is the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So there are some of the games, a game we might want to stack. Leonte, are you seeing any other games here that you might want to stack as far as total points go?
Yeah, I'm looking here. I really like that Detroit Green Bay game to go over for sure.
Okay, we're going to look at Detroit, Green Bay, and we're going to look at the uh, the 48.5 game, and we're also going to look at there's a lot of 46s.
I like Houston Rams.
Yes, that's another game that I also wanted to look at. So we're going to look at those three games. Our our FanDuel Millie Maker $100 game is up, but closer to the regular season, there'll be a $5 or a $20 game, depending on how many people sign up for that. But we're just going to go with our FanDuel $100 game, Millie Maker, right now. And we're going to build a lineup, and that should pop up on your screen. Our FanDuel lineup come up. If you look in the right hand corner, you'll see the date of the games. Oh, you'll see today's date, you'll see the date of the games, and you'll see the entry fee. If you click on the top, you will see the what the rules of the game are. So it's points per reception, points per touchdown, points for rushing yard, and we're gonna go right in and look at quarterbacks. And I'll let Leonte choose his quarterback. But you have to keep in mind for all you beginners out there that you do not have a lot of money to spend. Looking at these quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels being 7,000, it is a cheap quarterback week, my friends.
Wow.
Because obviously you don't have the Chiefs, you don't have the Eagles, you don't have the Cowboys on this slate. So who are you going with for your quarterback and why?
All right, so being that this guy, I mean Jaden Daniels is the highest, right? So he's at
He,
7.
he is, yes.
I would probably take honestly to be safe. I would take Jared Goff at 6,500.
Okay, so
Yep.
we're gonna go with Goff. And we're keeping in mind the high over under games, which is one we targeted was the Detroit Green Bay game, and the Atlanta Falcons and Tampa Bay game, and Atlanta and the Tampa Bay. I mean, and the what was the other one we talked about?
Rams Houston.
Rams Houston. Okay, so for running back, I'm gonna go. I'm feeling like a cheap running back week. I don't know
Yeah.
about you. I think that a lot of these guys, and particularly the Cleveland Browns starting running back, Ford could be a nice starter at 5,600. Is a very coming at a very low price. And by the way, this is just very early. We'll probably do this 48 hours before,
Yep.
but we kind of wanted to do this video as a training to people who are beginners to DraftKings or FanDuel. And if you whatever one you do, and even if you do one of the third party ones that's not really popular, it's all kind of the same rules. You get a salary, you got to squeeze these guys in at the salary. You pay the money, and if you win $1 million. If you come in second, I think it's like 200,000. Then it goes kind of down from there.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with Ford. I'll let Leonte look at our second running back, and who would you pick?
Yeah, Bijan, Gibbs, these guys are all pricey. Christian McCaffrey's pricey. So Mike, you talked about like kind of stacking guys together who like I already took Jared Goff, right? And we also talked about the Houston Rams game. So I'm probably gonna take Kyron Williams at $6,500.
Okay, actually not a bad idea. Um, I mean, I'll do another lineup after this and go with my go-to. So me and Leonte are going to do this one together just so you guys can see how it's done, and then I'll go through mine. So at wide receiver, so we have Jamar Chase coming at 8,100, incredibly high. No surprises there. Puka coming in at 76, second. Nico Collins a little expensive. He's way up from his last season salary.
Yep.
Used to be able to get Nico in like the 6,000s, so that shows us that somebody sees something in training camp, and he's more expensive than St. Brown, which is
Wow, which
amazing
is
to me.
yeah.
Malik Neighbors, I think 7,000 is very high for Malik Neighbors. I'm not going to lie.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill, maybe last year or the year before that, 6,700 would be a steal. I got to tell you, I'm staying away.
Yeah.
But I really kind of want to go down to these cheaper guys. And what I kind of do is for my fantasy, like every week, what I'll do is I'll strategize. Like, do I want to go expensive running back or cheap running back or expensive wide receiver or cheap wide receiver? Because those are the ones that are going to win or lose you at this thing.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks are always comparable at the end of the day. I mean, unless a guy goes off and throws 5 touchdown passes, which almost never happens. Quarterbacks at the end of the day are pretty comparable PPR because they throw they're on the field every single down, so they get the most volume. But the tricky part is deciding who's if it's wise to pay up for running back or it's wise to pay up for wide receiver. And this week for me, I think it's wise to pay up for running back.
Yeah.
If I was going to stack, and we'll go over this next, Goff, I would definitely pick Gibbs. But we're going to definitely look at some of these cheaper guys who can actually score a touchdown or two, and you're probably not even thinking about them.
Yeah.
And the one that really pings my radar right now is Jacoby Myers.
Okay.
He's got a brand new quarterback in Geno Smith.
Yep.
There's absolutely nobody on that team but Brock Bowers that can catch a touchdown pass. And if Jacoby Myers doesn't score a touchdown in that game, I'll be really surprised.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that,
I,
Leonte?
I really do like it. Like you said, new quarterback. A lot of teams are going to be paying a lot of attention to Bowers, so that gives him a lot of opportunity to have a lot of red zone targets and score a lot of touchdowns. So I like it.
Yeah, and we know Geno can move the ball down the field. I mean, outside of his New York Jets, I'll call it his pandemic season where he was caught the green sickness up in New York.
Yeah.
He's been rock solid. I mean, there was a reason why he went number one overall. Gino was number one overall.
No,
I
he
think
was
it
like
number
no.
three.
Remember, he fell. He fell.
Oh, he
in his
fell.
right year.
Either way,
fell,
he was
yeah.
he was
projected to
projected to be
yeah.
a number one pick, and the Jets got him because the Jets are terrible. I always assume the Jets have the number one pick in quarterback because it's the Jets. But
And I really like your pick too because guess what? New superstar running back that they have coming
yeah,
in.
yeah,
Also,
you're right. Yeah,
it's going to
yeah.
open up a lot in the passing game.
Absolutely. They're
Um,
going to be keying in on Genti no matter what happens. Like, seriously. So,
Yep.
who's your second wide out in this bunch?
So my second wideout, he has big play ability written all over him. He's actually kind of cheap. I'm gonna go with Jameson Williams.
Yes,
With the
absolutely.
Detroit.
Absolutely. Like you said, like St. Brown's going to be doubled,
Yep.
right? And Laporta's always going to be chipped or doubled, or they're going to throw something at him.
Got to
So
focus on Gibbs and Montgomery. So
definitely. And that's
yeah.
a guy we also talked about in the season wide that you should definitely look at.
Yep.
So for a third receiver, I think we're doing really well here where we have about $20,000 remaining in our salary. We always spend the least on defense, right? I mean, that's just all the pros do that. I mean, generally if I'm really like not hot on a defense, like I know like they're at home and they're gonna crush and it's like their hot week or whatever. I'm just picking the home team that is the cheapest, basically. But I think this week is a little different, and we'll talk about that a little later. But I'm going to go with my third wide receiver, DJ Metcalf. I think that, or DK Metcalf, I'm sorry. I think that they're playing the Jets. I think the Jets are, other than Sauce, unless they're going to put Sauce on him every play, which
Yeah.
they might. I mean,
They
I
might.
don't know. But I think either way, he gets a lot of targets and he gets a red zone target. And then right now, I think that's why there's price so close together.
Yeah.
Smith and Jigba are right next to him because I think that like Sauce is going to have to pick one, and either of these guys is good. So I think you could go either way, but I'll just go with DK because he's beast mode.
I like it.
So tight end, I'm going to leave to you because I'm terrible at tight ends.
Yep. Tight end. I'm assuming Brock Bowers is going to be the most expensive. Yes, he is. He's coming in at 6,500. Trey McBride is also a guy who's going to be expensive. Laporta, like I want to take that, but guess what? I'm going to go with the rookie. I saw him make a one-hand catch the other day. I'm going to go with Warren from the Colts. I think he has an opportunity to have a good first game.
Wow, and what a value too for him. I mean, um, I like him. I think that this game's not the highest over under, but I think Indianapolis is going to have some limited options on offense. I mean, we know their quarterback can score and can play and he can throw. So
Another reason why I picked them is because they're playing the Dolphins week 1,
Yeah.
and the amount of guys in the secondary that just went down for the Dolphins is like a record.
Wow.
They're
Wow.
signing corners off the street.
Wow. Well,
So,
so that's why you watch this show, folks.
yep.
Now we'll obviously we'll re-examine this about 48 hours before week one, that Saturday or that Friday. So we'll kind of know if the Dolphins got their secondary game together, and if they don't, we'll keep them. So now usually I'll skip over my flex and I'll go right to defense, and I'll think about a defense I like because I have $5,250 left to pick. And generally, what I would say is I just picked the cheapest home defense, which is Cleveland, but I don't like that against Cincinnati week one.
Oh my God, take the Giants. That
Yeah.
D line.
I mean, I also thought about that, but
Yeah.
I mean, does Jaden Daniels go off? I mean, I guess that's the question. New York's home, but like, is Jaden Daniels going to go off that game? That's the only thing that scares me.
I
But
just think the Giants. Everyone's been talking about this D line, right?
all
They
right,
got
so
5 guys. I just think they're going to be. They've been balling in training camp. I think they might come after him a little bit
you
and,
talked me into it. Let's
get him
get it.
rattled.
So
Yep.
now we can ball out on our flex. So
Yep.
who do you think?
I mean, we got $8,200 left. Jamar Chase is 81. Let's go all in on Jamar Chase.
All right, let's do it. We're going to go all on Jamar Chase. So, and something you actually want to do, and I've made this mistake many times, believe it or not. Sometimes it's worked out for me. Just make sure that nobody on your team is going against the defense that you have.
Oh, that's true.
That could end up bad for you. And what a lot of people like to do is stack a running back with their defense, which actually is a really good strategy because if a team is up and their defense is playing really well, they're running the ball the whole game, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not going to be, they're not taking a chance downfield. They don't need to.
No.
So that's always something you should definitely keep in mind. So I really like that. So now I'm going to do my own, and then I'm going to let you do your own.
We should have screenshotted that. That might have been the one.
Yeah, no, I have. We're screen
Oh, yeah,
recording
we're
now.
screen
That's going to
recording.
be up on the screen. You guys should be able to see it on the screen.
Yep.
So now I'm going to do my own, and then Leonte is going to do his own. So for my quarterback, I think I thought about this long and hard.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to spend a lot of money on quarterbacks today. And I was kind of torn between Geno Smith and Drake May, but I think I'm going to go with Drake May.
Okay.
He's super cheap. He is at believe it or not, Aaron Rodgers is the third cheapest quarterback right now.
Yeah.
Behind Richardson from the Indianapolis Colts. And then Trevor Lawrence is at 5,300. So I think this is a pay down week. Sam Darnold's at 5,300.
Wow.
This is a pay down week for quarterback.
Yeah.
Justin Fields might not play. I would imagine he will play. I think that the Jets will probably have him starting. I don't know if you disagree.
Yeah, he's definitely going to start.
Yeah, but
sure.
I mean, I think 2 guys we know who are going to start, and I don't want to spend more than like 57 on my quarterback this week. So I think I'm going to go with May only because, like Leonte and I discussed in our year long, we don't really believe in Michael Penix. I mean, I don't know if you have a comment about that or
Yeah, I'm not sold just yet.
Yeah.
I don't, as of right now, I don't even know if he's really going to be the starter. I mean, Kirk Cousins could still start.
Yeah,
Who
no,
knows?
you're right.
You know,
Yeah.
we don't know right now, but I'm not sold on him yet. So
Okay, so we're gonna fade Penix, but if you want to do it, I mean, this is not like a science. Like some guys have bad days, some guys have good days. But I think for our price point, what I want to target is Drake May, and I also want to stack him with somebody. So I'm going to go right to my receivers, and I'm going to stack Drake May with the top New England receiver, who is very cheap.
I'm assuming it's Diggs.
Yeah, and I mean 48 hours before, if Diggs isn't playing or if Diggs is hurt or if let's say they sign somebody off
Yeah.
the street that's looking to get on a team or somebody who's looking to get off a team because we think that's going to happen.
Yep.
So that's what we'll do. So and the reason I did this is because now I'm playing with house money on the rest of my receivers, my
Absolutely.
flex guy,
Yep.
my tight end, and my running backs. So for my running back, I think at the end of the day, between we know Gibbs is going to get a ton of volume. So I really want Gibbs on my team.
Yeah.
Because the over under on that game is really going to be high. And the second over under team was the Tampa Bay Atlanta game. So I don't think I can afford Bucky Irving right now. So, but what I do think I can afford is one of these starters who everybody's forgotten about, who could actually score fantasy points, and it's James Ford from
Jerome Ford.
Jerome Ford.
Yep.
I'm sorry, from the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
They're not going to have a running back. They're going to have a new quarterback. he's the only person on that team really that's kind of proven
Yes.
that he can score. And I think that at some pass he surpassed Nick Chubb to become the starter here, and that's kind of why they got rid of Chubb.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of all in on Ford. So my next wide receivers, I'm gonna do something a little bit cheaper. I'm gonna go down here for some of these guys that may scare people. But I think that like if Terry McLaurin, we know McLaurin is out, so Debo's going to be the number one receiver in Washington,
Yeah.
and Jaden Daniels is going to need someone to throw to.
I like that. I
Yeah,
like that a
so I
lot.
think Debo is going to be the number one, and we've seen Debo when he's in shape what he can do. I
Yep.
think even Debo out of shape is actually a really good wide
Yeah.
receiver.
Yeah.
So they'll still be doing jet sweeps and stuff. So I'm sticking with Debo there.
Nice.
Um, and then for my third receiver, um, you see that Godwin is out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's the high over under. So they're so that and so that they're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie, who we talked about, and
Yep.
Buka is going to play.
Hmm.
And if he's as good as Leonte thinks he is, and I respect Leonte's commentary and just the eye test from Leonte because was one of the greatest wide receivers out of Rutgers and played in the NFL and was dominant. I think that we're
I
gonna we're
like it.
gonna go with Mbuka,
I
and we're
like
gonna
it.
take a chance on him week one, because he's just that good. Tight end, I always struggle with. I've been burned by Pitts so much in the past, even though I do like it in this high over under game.
Yeah.
4,300. I gotta fade him because he's just burned me so many times in the past.
Yep.
Some people call that a recency bias. Not so much for me. But what I'm looking for now to my tight end is a team that has no wide receivers to throw to.
Mm.
So you can think about the Jets. I think their starting tight end is available. I don't know that I'm willing to go that low.
Yeah.
But I think that for at the end of the day, there's a guy who gets a lot of targets. We know McLaurin's gone. We have another Debo Samuel on our team. Zach Ertz. It's highly unlikely he's going to get hurt in week one, even though he's injury prone.
Yeah.
But I see Ertz getting 6, 7 targets, maybe 2, 3 red zone targets in that game.
I see
I
that.
don't know if you disagree,
No, I agree
but
with you.
definitely. So now what I'm going to do is skip to my defense. I think I'm going to pay up a little bit for defense because I don't love any of these top five bottoms.
Hmm.
But what I really do like is this this New York. No, I'm sorry. This the Indianapolis Colts at home with a depleted and totally destroyed Miami Dolphins team.
Yes.
So could like
Only thing is, I would be careful a little bit though, because if you get a Waddle and an HN and a Tariq Hill to go off, you know what I'm saying? It could be scary. Their defense is hurt. Their offense is really not that hurt.
and
You know
I
what I'm saying?
and actually you're right. You're just talking me out of that. And a lot of these, I mean, I think this is a really easy defense week unless you're just going to pick the Broncos and pay the 3,800, which
Yeah.
doesn't break the bank, but like,
No. I mean,
um,
you're kind of in the clear with
I
that.
think I
You
am.
could
But
still get your
but
flex too.
but but I gotta tell you, the Washington Commanders are going to decimate the New York Giants.
Yes, especially on defense.
Yeah, so I'm going to pick the Washington Commanders there,
Nice.
and that's a nice stack with my tight end.
Absolutely.
So now I got house money to play with. I don't. Who did we pick for our last flex?
We had Jamar Chase.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go with Bijan here, and now I got about 300 to play with. But what I really like this team,
That's a solid
so
team
I don't
right
want to
there.
mess with it.
No.
And sometimes people do these weekly fantasies, and they get scared to leave money on the table. But believe it or not, I've seen more guys with two tight ends, a tight end and a tight end flex, or a guy who left 500, 700 on the table, win the million
Wow.
than every people who just spent their money trying to maximize each position because you can't predict this stuff. You know, some people are going to have a good game. You have to use your best judgment, but this is my starting lineup here.
I really like it.
So I think that that's a good starting lineup. And like just for strategy wise, like what I would do is probably do 10 of these lineups and then I'd mix and match. I'd switch some of my receivers out. I'd maybe switch Ford out for a guy who's comparable. You're keeping Gibbs, obviously. You're keeping Robinson. I would keep Ertz. I think that it's a value for him in week one. I would keep Samuel only because the injuries that they have going on right now, or McLaurin leaving in Washington, so they got to figure it out. Definitely keep that Washington Commanders defense
Yep.
because the Giants, I just don't have a lot of faith in them moving the ball, especially going down to Washington for week one. And you know, I don't love Drake May, but if I was going to switch Drake May, I like in this price point, um, I would probably just go with like Bryce Young or Michael Penix.
Yeah.
So you know, I think either one of them it's going to be comparable.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pass the sticks to Leonte, and he is going to create his lineup in the Millie Maker. So go ahead, go through it, Leonte, and talk us through it.
Yep. So what I like that you did to open this up, guys. What Mike did. Mike's been doing this for a while now. He knows what he's doing. I think you off the rip, you go for a good quarterback, but you try to go cheap
Yes,
at
yes, yes.
quarterback. That
I
was
mean,
like
but
really
but
smart.
but sometimes it's not going to be that way.
Yeah.
Like when you have Mahomes and you have Hurts
Yep.
and you have Lamar Jackson, they can go for 7, 8 thousand,
Yeah.
and that's always a risk. But what you got to do is like put these guys next to each other and think about how. I mean, we all watch football every week, right? Think about how they performed each game and what their average ceiling is.
Yep.
And some of these guys are actually very close. Now, if Lamar Jackson's going into the New York Jets, he
Yeah.
might run for 5 touchdowns. So
Yes.
I would say it was a week to pay up for quarterback.
Yeah.
This is a week to pay. Week one in the NFL is a week to pay down for quarterback.
I love that.
Keeping that in mind. Go ahead, Leon.
So quarterback, he caught my eye from the start. Like I said, I hate to do this because I'm a Dolphins fan and I played for them. But I am going to get super cheap, and I think he's going to be the starter. He's been taking care of his body. He's been in the weight room. He's been eating healthier. I think he lost a lot of weight. I think he's more focused after having an embarrassing first 2 years. Really, I'm going Anthony Richardson with my pick at quarterback for Week 1. Then I'm going to jump right to tight end because I'm going to follow it up with his boy Warren
Okay.
and pick him at tight end. I think he's very talented. He was obviously a first round pick. They have a lot of hope for him. And I think with Jonathan Taylor at running back and a couple of slot receivers, they have Pittman and Downs. I think he's going to be open a lot. So I like this pick a lot. And then I'm going to go back to my running backs now. And I feel like I got a little bit of money that I could spend a little bit, not splurge, but I really, for some reason, I just like this guy. I think he with Devontae Adams and Puka being there, I think it now opens him up even more. I really like Kyron Williams from the Rams, so I'm going to take him. And then my second running back, I'm actually going to skip my second running back for now. I'm going to go to a receiver just to see what I have. These guys are very expensive, but once again, I really, really like this pick, and I am going to go with Jamison Williams. I think he has big playability written all over him, and I think he's very cheap. It's actually kind of disrespectful how cheap he is. And I'm going to go with another cheap guy still, just because I really like, I really, really, really think he's having a good training camp. I watch all these guys throughout training camp. So I'm looking online, I'm seeing on Instagram, and I see what these guys been doing. I think this guy has bulked up and he's ready to have a tremendous sophomore year. And I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, and he was questionable for game one, but I'm sure that'll clear up.
Nah,
Before.
he's going to play for
Yeah.
sure. And now that leaves me with a lot of money for my last, my last two picks. So now for my running back, I could really go all out. And I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs. And then for my, oh, sorry, I still got a couple more. But for this receiver right here, my last receiver before my flex, I still got a little bit more money to spend, but I am going to go, just in case if they double team Jamar Chase, I am going to go T. Higgins. And now I have about $9,000 left, and I'm going to skip over my flex and just pick a defense like Mike did. And I am going to go with, like Mike said, Washington Commanders are playing against the Giants. We don't know what we're going to get out of Russell Wilson. But then again, the Broncos are playing the Tennessee Titans. I mean,
Yeah, you got the money to spend now.
yeah,
with $9,000.
I might go for the Broncos right off the bat and just take that
Yeah,
defense.
I don't think that's a bad idea. I think I could have went either way, really. To tell you
Yeah,
the truth.
and now I have $5,100 left for my flex, and I am going to go right off rip. $5,100 left, and I am going to take. Let's see. I kind of like what was just up there. I'm gonna take Rashad White.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, I could see him getting some red zone work.
Yep.
Bucky goes out or whatever.
And that leaves me at $0.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's a really good lineup. We'll scroll through Leonte's lineup and look at it. If you guys want to copy this lineup, but like what I would do also is just mix and match. You could like take out Gibbs and like do Bucky Irving and then switch White with like a Tony Pollard or like Montgomery or Pollard or Waddle. Which guy do you think might get in the end zone as a flex?
As a flex, I would go Montgomery.
or even Ford. So you would go Montgomery
Yeah,
with this group. All right,
yeah,
so you could even do that. And I mean, even if you wanted to pay down for a defense, like even go down to like the Rams with Houston could be a decent pick. And then like just get a better tight end. Like Njoku is actually also a solid pick, but also, in week one, I wouldn't count out Ingram to have 5 or 6 targets and a
yeah.
red zone target. So now what we're gonna do is we have a couple minutes left. We'll just do a quick super stack to show you what a stack is like. And generally, what you want to do when you stack is stack the high over under games. So we're going to go right to the top with Tampa Bay, Atlanta. I'm going to pick Baker Mayfield. I'm
Absolutely.
going to pick as my number one wide receiver, Mike Evans.
Yep.
I'm going to pay now that I've blown some money on my stacked wide receiver. I'm gonna circle back to this game and pick Bijan. And then I'm going to go down because if this game has multiple touchdowns, and to tell you the truth, looking at the lineup this week, this may be the highest scoring game of the week by far.
Yeah,
I've seen people do two running backs in the same game and a backup and a starter, and you could actually switch that, do Bucky,
yeah.
and then just do Atlanta's backup, which I think is Algier. So you could definitely do that. But that means I'm going to be paying down for the rest of my wide receivers, but I still want to target the high over under
I
games.
would go with the rookie.
We have obviously the rookie who's going to be started in Buka. So he's all the way down here.
Yep.
So we're going to go get him. We're going to come back with a tight end. Not in this game because I'm really putting a lot of my scoring potential on my wide receivers and my running backs.
Yeah.
So Sam Laporte is going to score a touchdown. So that's a really safe pick. Let's go to my defense.
Yep.
And we're going to pick a really cheap defense because I really splurged on my skilled guys, which is probably what you should do for most weeks because that's going to get you most of your points. Sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it does. And I'm going to go with Cleveland at home. I'm going to take a chance. I know Cincinnati's going to score some points, but if Cleveland
They still
hurts,
got Miles Garrett.
yeah,
Yeah.
if they hurt Joe Burrow and he fumbles and they
Yeah.
scoop and score or something, it's worth the chance. And now I get a pretty decent flex player, and why not go with Kyron Williams because he's going to do some murder.
Yeah.
And I think this team right here has the potential to score a lot of fantasy points.
Yes.
Maybe get you to 200. Maybe I'm not promising you the million. Maybe get you $1,000 because
Yeah.
the million's really hard to win. But if you have a lineup like this to stack and mix and match, this is the lineup I'm going with this week. So, Leonte, anything closing out that you have to say about weekly fantasy?
No, this was fun. I can't wait to really do this with you and help anybody out that we can. Me and Mike are going to be in here trying to win $1 million, so we're not going to give you guys any picks that we wouldn't take.
And if we do win $1 million, you will not see us next season on the show. So that's how you know we won. We'll take a year off. But it was great having you guys join us. I hope you learned a little bit about fantasy football. I hope you had some fun. We're going to be doing this again 48 hours before. Leonte's going to the DR. I'm going to Montreal. So we'll see you in about 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks. And we'll talk about college football, and then we'll really get into our week one picks because we'll be about a week away from week one when we're back from vacation. So click in either corner if you want to see our last video or subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your views. Leave a comment if you want us to talk about anything, and leave your lineup in the comments. We're willing to learn from anybody. So I think this is not an exact science. Being a former NFL player, Leonte, and me almost winning the Millie one time, you learn as you go, and it's good to have as much input as you can.